Welcome back to Bible Quizzes. So today we got a quiz about King David and his reign. Let's get started.
Round 1. True or false? Each question is worth 1 point.
Question 1. David is the youngest son of Jesse. True. 1 Samuel 16:11. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest David, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. 2. Saul was afraid of David's strength and youth. False. 1 Samuel 18:12. And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul. 3. Ishbosheth reigned over Israel for 5 years. False. 2 Samuel 2:10. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel, and reigned 2 years, but the house of Judah followed David. 4. Asaph was the sweet psalmist of Israel. False. 2 Samuel 23:1. David the son of Jesse said, And the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel. 5. Hushai defeated the counsel of Ahithophel. True. 2 Samuel 15:34. But if thou, Hushai, return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's David's servant hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant, then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. 6. Amnon was the third son of King David. False. 2 Samuel 3:2-3. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon, and his second Chileab, and the third Absalom. 7. After the split, Jeroboam was appointed king over 11 tribes of Israel. True. 1 Kings 12:20. And it came to pass when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. 8. Bathsheba saved her people from David's army, driven by her kindness and wisdom. False. 1 Samuel 25:32-33. And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with mine own hand. 9. Abigail is known for her wisdom and beauty, and David meets her after escaping from Saul. True. 1 Samuel 25:3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance, but the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. 10. Merab, Saul's older daughter, initially set to wed David. True. 1 Samuel 18:17. And Saul said to David, Behold my elder daughter Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles. For Saul said, Let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. 11. Obed was Ruth and Boaz's son, the grandfather of David. True. Ruth 4:17. And the woman her neighbors gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. 12. David killed Abner. False. 2 Samuel 3:27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. 13. God's pledge to David through Nathan about establishing his throne forever. True. 2 Samuel 7:16-17. And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. 14. David declared war after the Ammonites insulted his ambassadors. True. 2 Samuel 10:7. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the host of the mighty men. 15. Nadab was Abigail's husband before David. False. 1 Samuel 25:3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. 16. Ahijah was the prophet who warned Bathsheba of Adonijah's actions. False. 1 Kings 1:11. Wherefore Nathan spake unto Bathsheba the mother of Solomon, saying, Hast thou not heard that Adonijah the son of Haggith doth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? 17. Michal despised David in her heart for dancing before the Lord. True. 2 Samuel 6:16. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. 18. Solomon, son of David, turned away from God by marrying foreign women and worshipping idols. True. 1 Kings 11:4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after the other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. 19. Samuel anointed David as the first king of Israel. False. 1 Samuel 10:1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his Saul's head and kissed him, and said, Is it not because the Lord hath anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance? 20. An Amalekite man claimed he was responsible for Saul's death and informed David. True. 2 Samuel 1:4. And David said unto him, Amalekite man, how went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also.
Round 2. Multiple choice. Every question is worth 2 points.
21. Who did David ask to retrieve his wife Michal from her son? 21. Who did David ask to retrieve his wife Michal from her second husband? Nathan, Joab, Uriah, or Abner? Abner. 2 Samuel 3:13. And he, David, said, Well, I will make a league with thee, Abner, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when thou comest to see my face. 22. Who was David's royal scribe? Hilkiah, Baruch, Sheva, or Jehoiada? Sheva, 2 Samuel 20, 24-26. And Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud was recorder, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests, and Ira also the Jairite was a chief ruler about David. 23. Who was the mother of David's son Adonijah? Haggith, Maacah, Abigail, or Michal? Haggith, 1 Kings 1:5. Then Adonijah the son of Haggith exalted himself, saying, I will be king, and he prepared him chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. 24. Who is called David's friend? Abiathar, Ahithophel, Hushai, or Joab? Hushai, 2 Samuel 15:37. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. 25. Which of David's sons conspired against him to become king? Adonijah, Amnon, Absalom, or Solomon? Absalom, 2 Samuel 15:10. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. 26. Who was David's general who helped him defeat the Philistines multiple times? Abner, Uriah, Joab, or Ittai? Joab, 2 Samuel 8:15-16. And David reigned over all Israel, and David executed judgment and justice unto all his people. And Joab the son of Zeruiah was over the host, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud was recorder. 27. Who was the father of Bathsheba? Jesse, Eliam, Ahithophel, or Ahitub? Eliam, 2 Samuel 11:3. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, Is not this Bathsheba the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? 28. Who was the prophet who confronted David about his sin with Bathsheba? Nathan, Zadok, Uriah, or Abiathar? Nathan, 2 Samuel 12:13. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, The Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. 29. Who cursed David and threw stones at him when he was fleeing from his son Absalom? Ahithophel, Zimri, Shimei, or Ahitub? Shimei, 2 Samuel 16:5-6. And when King David came to Bahurim, Shimei cursed still as he came, and he cast stones at David, and at all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. 30. What did David do with the crown of Ammonite king? He wore, burned, destroyed, or offered? He wore, 2 Samuel 12:30. And he took their king's crown from off his head, the weight of whereof was a talent of gold with the precious stones, and it was set on David's head, and he brought forth the spoil of the city in great abundance. 31. Where did King David place Uriah the Hittite in the battle? Front, rear, foothills, or trenches? Front, 2 Samuel 11:15. And he, David, wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. 32. Who was Absalom's advisor during his rebellion against David? Joab, Nathan, Benaiah, or Ahithophel? Ahithophel. 2 Samuel 15:31. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. 33. Which tribe was primarily responsible for bringing David back as king? Benjamin, Judah, Levi, or Issachar? Judah. 2 Samuel 2:4. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying, that the men of Jabesh Gilead were they that buried Saul. 34. How many years did King David reign in Hebron? 3, 5, 7, or 10? 7. 2 Samuel 2:11. And the time that David was king in Hebron over the house of Judah was 7 years and 6 months. 35. Who was David's third wife? Abigail, Michal, Ahinoam, or Bathsheba? Ahinoam. 1 Samuel 25:42-43. And Abigail went after the messengers of David and became his wife. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. 36. What was David's past occupation? Farmer, shepherd, soldier, or fisherman? Shepherd. 1 Samuel 16:11. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, David, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. 37. David was anointed in the midst of his people, parents, wives, or brethren. His brethren. 1 Samuel 16:13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. 38. How many Philistine foreskins did Saul ask as a condition for David to marry his daughter? 50, 100, 150, or 200? 100 foreskins. 1 Samuel 18:25. And Saul said, Thus shall ye say to David, The king desireth not any dowry, but an 100 foreskins of the Philistines to be avenged of the king's enemies. But Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. 39. David smote Goliath with what? Slingstone, bow arrow, clubstick, or sword? Slingstone. 1 Samuel 17:49. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. 40. Which priest was with David when he fled from Saul? Abiathar, Ahimelech, Ahitub, or Zadok? Abiathar. 1 Samuel 22:22. And David said unto Abiathar, I knew it that day, when Doeg an Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. 41. How many years did David reign? 20, 40, 50, or 60? 40 years. 2 Samuel 5:4. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 40 years. 42. Why was David not allowed to build the temple? Lack wisdom, shed much blood, insufficient resources, or opposed God? he shed much blood. 1 Chronicles 22:8. But the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Thou hast shed blood abundantly, and hast made great wars. Thou shalt not build an house unto my name, because thou hast shed much blood upon the earth in my sight. 43. How many brothers did David have? 7, 8, 9, or 12? 7. 1 Samuel 16, 10 through 11. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, The Lord hath not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, David. 44. Where did David come from? Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Judah, Nazareth, or Jericho? Bethlehem, Judah. 1 Samuel 17:12. Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons, and the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. 45. Which of these is not a son of David? Shimei, Shephatiah, Ithream, or Obed? Obed. 1 Chronicles 2:12. And Boaz begat Obed. 46. Who was David's mighty warrior whose hand clave on the sword during battle? Joab, Abishai, Eleazar, or Benaiah? Eleazar. 2 Samuel 23, 9 through 10. And after him was Eleazar. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword, and the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. 47. Who was David's mighty warrior who once killed 800 men with his spear in a single battle? Eleazar, Adino, Joab, or Shema? Adino. 2 Samuel 23:8. These men be the names of the mighty men whom David had, the Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adino the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800 whom he slew at one time. 48. What was the name of David's great-great-grandfather? Nahshon, Salma, Boaz, or Ram? Boaz. 1 Chronicles 2:12 through 15. And Boaz begat Obed, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat his firstborn Eliab, and Abinadab the second, and Shimei the third, and Nathaniel the fourth, Radai the fifth, Ozem the sixth, and David the seventh. 49. Who is the man in the man who insulted David and got killed? Goliath, Nabal, Absalom, or Absalom? Nabal. 1 Samuel 25:10. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David, and who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. 50. Who was the king of Ammon when David sent ambassadors to comfort him? Hanan, Nahash, Balak, or Og? Hanun. 2 Samuel 10:2. Then said David, I will show kindness unto Hanun, the son of Nahash, as his father shewed kindness unto me. And David sent to comfort him by the hand of his servants for his father. And David's servants came into the land of the children of Ammon. 51. Who was the mother of Absalom? Ahinoam, Eglah, Haggith, or Maacah? Maacah. 1 Chronicles 3:2. The third, Absalom the son of Maacah, the daughter of Talmai king of Geshur. The fourth, Adonijah the son of Haggith. 52. Who was the third captain of the host who killed 300 men with his spear? Abishai, Asahel, Abner, or Joab? Abishai, 2 Samuel 23:18. And Abishai, he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among three. 53. Who told Saul that David had gone to the house of Ahimelech? Abner, Ahitub, Doeg, or Abiathar? Doeg. 1 Samuel 22:9. Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was sent over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse, David, coming to Nob, to Ahimelech the son of Ahitub. 54. What was the punishment for King David's sin with Bathsheba? Sword, exile, plague, or famine? Sword. 2 Samuel 12:10. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine, David house, because thou hast despised me, God, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. 55. Who was the priest who gave David the hallowed bread to eat when he fled from Saul? Zadok, Samuel, Abiathar, or Ahimelech? Ahimelech. 1 Samuel 21:2-3. And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present. 56. Who among David's valiant men is not a son of Zeruiah? Joab, Abishai, Asahel, or Eleazar? Eleazar. 2 Samuel 2:18. And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah there, Joab and Abishai and Asahel. And Asahel was as light of foot as a wild roe. 57. Who appointed Solomon to be king in place of David? Nathan and Zadok, Gad and Abiathar, Zadok and Gad, or Samuel and Nathan? Nathan and Zadok. 1 Kings 1:34. And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him their king of Israel, and blow ye with the trumpet, and say, God save King Solomon. Who conspired with Amnon to rape Tamar his half-sister? Shimei, Jonadab, Ahithophel, or Shimei? Jonadab. 2 Samuel 13:5. And Jonadab said unto him, Lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick. And when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come. 59. What made David distress in Psalm 55? Trials of the upright, intercession and prayer, call to the needy, or voice of the enemy? Voice of the enemy. Psalm 55:3. Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, David, in the wrath they hate me. 60. Who advised Absalom to take David's concubines and set up a tent for himself on the roof? Doeg, Shimei, Ishbosheth, or Ahithophel? Ahithophel. 2 Samuel 16:21. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, Go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong.
Round 3. Short answer. Each question is worth 3 points.
61. Who anointed David as king of Israel? Samuel. 1 Samuel 16:13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. 62. Who was David's best friend? Jonathan, 1 Samuel 18:1. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. 63. What city did David conquer and establish as his capital? Jerusalem, 2 Samuel 5:6-7. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem unto the Jebusites, an inhabitant of the land. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, the same is the city of David. 64. What was the name of David's daughter who was raped by her half-brother Amnon? Tamar, 2 Samuel 13:14. Howbeit he, Amnon, would not hearken unto her Tamar voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. 65. Who killed Absalom, David's son? Joab and 10 young men. 2 Samuel 18:14-15. Joab, he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak, and 10 young men that bare Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. 66. What musical instrument did David play for King Saul? Harp. 1 Samuel 16:23. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. 67. Why was David called a man after God's own heart? He obeys God. Acts 13:22. And when Saul had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave their testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. 68. Who was the next king after David? Solomon, 1 Kings 2:12. Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. 69. Who was the Hittite warrior that David sent to the front lines of battle so that he would be killed? Uriah, 2 Samuel 11:15. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. 70. Who is King Solomon's father? David, 2 Samuel 12:24. And David comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went unto her, and lay with her. And she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon, and the Lord loved him. 71. Who is David's wife famous for her wisdom and beauty? Abigail, 1 Samuel 25:3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife was Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance, but the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. 72. Who started as a shepherd and became a respected warrior and ruler? David, 2 Samuel 7:8. Now therefore so shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. 73. Who did David prophesy to betray Jesus? Judas, Acts 1:16, Men and brethren, the scripture must needs have been fulfilled, which the Holy Ghost by the mouth of David spake before concerning Judas, which was a guide to them that took Jesus. 74. What was the name of David and Bathsheba's son who became a wise and wealthy king? Solomon, 1 Kings 10:23. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. 75. Who gave Goliath's sword to David? Ahimelech, 1 Samuel 21:9. And the priest Ahimelech said, The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, There is none like that, give it to me. Who did David show kindness to and invite to dine at his table for Jonathan's sake? Mephibosheth, 2 Samuel 9:7. And David said unto him, Fear not, for I will surely show thee, Mephibosheth, kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. 77. What did the workers sent by Hiram, king of Tyre, build for David? House. 2 Samuel 5:11. And Hiram king of Tyre sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David an house. 78. Where did King David acquire a large amount of brass? Cities of Hadadezer. 2 Samuel 8:8. And from Betah and from Berothai, cities of Hadadezer, King David took exceeding much brass. 79. Who rebuked David for numbering the people of Israel? Gad, 2 Samuel 24:10-11. And David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people. For when David was up in the morning, the word of the Lord came unto the prophet Gad. 80. Where did David abode after they attacked the city of Keilah? Ziph. 1 Samuel 23:14. And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds, and remained in the mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but God delivered him not into his hand. And that's all the questions for today. Remember, put your score down below and compare it with your friends and family by sharing this video. See you in the next one.